Good morning, hello. Thanks for having me here on this beautiful location. I'm doing fine, thank you. The tour in the UK, it was cool in both ways. It was cold during the day and the shows were cool. I always like to be in the UK. Great people there, great atmosphere. It was my first time in Ireland. Looking forward to go back again, actually. To be honest, I like to be in a peaceful, quiet surrounding as much as possible. Sometimes I warm up behind my drum kit while the intro is running of our show. Then I really can sync with the vibe, let's say. And but before, I do warming up in the dressing room as much as I can. But I prefer, actually nobody around me, to be honest, and then hit the stage and then smash the hell out of my drums. After the show, it's actually the same as before the show. I like to relax a bit, to get my beanie off, my in-ear monitor, clean it properly, and get a towel around me, put some deodorant on, and then meet the fans if possible. But the very first thing I like is to relax and calm down for 1 or 2 minutes. Well, there are differences. If you are in Holland or Germany or slightly UK as well, people are quite sober but enthusiastic, but in a more sober way. If you go more south, then people are more extrovert. but there's also a difference between club shows and festivals. At festivals, the meet and greets, we are behind a desk and the people walk through the desk and we do the signing. And then you have the security there who says to make tempo. There are differences between club shows, festivals, and also countries. There are. It started at my childhood. I grew up in a small village, and we had a basement there. And there I started to play drums, and there it all started really. So thanks to my parents, I went to a fanfare and learned how to first only snare drum, how to make proper rolls and all that. And then later on, the drum kit was involved in my drumming lessons. So and my parents were also supportive and have a good plan B. So I did electrical engineering. I'm a teacher now besides my musical career, and I can combine this perfectly in stage productions. So for building the lights, for instance, and running my home studio. All that kind of stuff. So the knowledge about electrical engineering or technology here and there is quite handy today. I can combine it, and that's actually what I have and what I am today. Well, it all started really with Jeff Porcaro. He was a drummer of Toto, and Toto had a huge hit in Holland in 86 or 87, somewhere there. So I was 7 years old. And in that video, Stop Loving You, got me really into drumming. Later on, I got influenced by Simon Phillips and and other drummers like Mike Mangini was really cool. Sergio Donati. I was really developing more skills while I was discovering more drummers as well. But it all started with Porcaro in '87. Well, yeah, you have those drummers from the start of my career, and today I really like Thomas Hake, Meshuggah, Mario Duplantier, awesome drummers, and there are many more. When I wake up, then I scroll to their profiles, and then I dive into my own drum room to try what they do. But yeah, they are so good. It's a challenge, but yeah, those are the metal influences of me today. The re-recording of Sleepwalker's Dream. I recorded it myself in my own drum room and did the edits for it. And what you hear on the EP is literally what happened in my drum room. So I'm very proud of it, because if you make an album, then it's really processed and produced, of course, and this is the Sleepwalker Dream thing is really the pure thing. It's very organic, and what you hear is what you get. That's basically it, and I'm very proud of it, of the results. It is also very nostalgic for me, because when I first was in DELAIN, I played the songs, the Lucidity songs a lot in Sleepwalker's Dream. I think it was permanently in the set in those days. So I think I played it a couple of hundreds of times, and it brings back memories. And now with Diana on vocals, that was really special. So it was both and organic for me in the drums and everybody in their home studios. Plus Diana, her awesome voice on it. It is really kick-ass. I'm very proud of it. For Leah, it was, I think, when I left DELAIN in 2014, Timo gave me a heads up about this project she was working on back then, Kings and Queens. That was at the end the title of the first album. And so I just sent an email to her, and that I was interested in playing on her records, because the reason that I quit DELAIN back then was also, touring live was too much, and Leah did not tour, so she was only recording records, so that was a perfect fit for me. And she replied, and we did the Kings and Queens record. I recorded the drums in Germany, Space Lab studio back then, and Timo was there as well during the drum recordings, Baden Coubois on bass. And after that, I think four years later, we did The Quest, the next album, and that one I did on my own. It was actually my first recording I did on my own. So I did the drum recordings myself, started to editing here and there. And now, the Glory and the Fallen. And the funny thing is, I never met Leah in real life after three kick-ass albums. But I love to be involved with her music. I really love it. Yeah. I will mess around a bit. Nemesis, yeah. Nemesis, I was in Nemesis before I joined DELAIN in 2006, 5, 6, somewhere there. And yeah, I recently did a track for them, and I also did one in 2021, a 3/4 Law, and now the song Black Dress we did. And yeah, there might be more coming up in the future. I always had a good click with HG, and so yeah, who knows what will happen for the future. My favorite album, actually I have two favorites. One of them is We Are The Others with DELAIN, because we recorded the drums in the Atlantis studio in Stockholm in Sweden. Jacob Hellman was the producer, and yeah, it was a Valhalla for me. Because that was the trigger that got me into recording as well. All the equipment there and the microphones and all the stuff, I love it. And I asked the crew there a lot of questions, how they did, why they did, what, and etc. And they were really kind to answer them all. So I owe them a big thank you for all the knowledge I have today. Which will bring me to the next favorite, that is The Quest by Leah. Yeah, with all the tips and tricks I learned, mainly for the sessions in Stockholm back then. My top two. Because of the music, Martijn and Leah wrote for both albums, but also because of the story behind it. This chair is collapsing. Pink Floyd project, yeah. We have to go back in time, I think for 5 or 6 years. The drummer, Wilco, he reached out to me because he needed a plan B for their upcoming tour where they did The Wall. Pretty common that you have a backup player, and he asked me for that. But he nailed all the shows back then, so it was not necessary that I did the shows. But I still kept in touch with the Pink Floyd project, and I became friends with André Beckers, and he's the founder of Pink Floyd project, and I also stayed in touch with Wilco as well. I had a meeting with André. We started chatting about a musical career and stuff, and he was telling me that they were planning to do a tribute to the Pulse tour of Pink Floyd, and what Pink Floyd did in '94. And I was like, I don't care how, what role I have, even if I have to carry your socks, I don't care, I want to be there. And the other thing was that he also told me that they wanted to have Gary Wallace in and Durga McBroom. Gary Wallace was the original percussion player with the Pink Floyd tours, and Durga McBroom was the backing vocalist. Gary Wallace could not make it, so I was like, yeah. And I could be a stand-in. I'm a Pink Floyd fan since I think 8-9 years old. Yeah, I did the shows with Durga McBroom. She was there, and that was really cool to stand next to her. She was right beside me, both as a fan and as a drummer. It was really great. Yeah. Well, Nemesis, Leah, and DELAIN, it's pretty metal-minded, and which I like, of course. But yeah, well, there's more in the world than only metal, and I'm also interested in pop here and there, rock. And well, I work for Mary Shill a lot, and with Nathan Cairo as a producer, who also works for DELAIN every now and then. But that's really pop stuff, reggae here and there vibes. I try to explore everything what crossed my path, let's say. And I also worked for the Unofficial last year with Joost van der Broek. That was really a nice session I did, and I also remember a secret rule from Italy that is years back, but that was also nice, and all kinds of different vibes here and there. I like that. I'm not really consistent with my style. I do like, for instance, Meshuggah, but I also like Toto. Playing at home, well, it is different because, it's a little bit more relaxed, so you don't have to travel that long, of course, and you can. I can even warm up in my own home studio and do the gig, and it's also nice to see people from UK, Spain, Germany, France. They are also following us to our shows in Holland, and that's really nice to see. Drum gear. I use Sonar drums. I have a Sonar SQ2 for my live shows. I actually use them both for DELAIN, the Floyd project, and if I go live, I will bring that one. And at home for my recordings, I have a Sonar D-Lite. It's a vintage one. For the nerds, it's a square bed one. And I have Paiste cymbals at home for recording signature dark energy. And live I have 602 Modern Essentials crashes mainly. And for the hi-hats I bring it at home from live and vice versa. I swap a lot. But and for the live setup, I really did it together with our front of house engineers. We together made a cool sound that works for everybody on stage, because drummers are always loud, as you know. I have Remo drum hats, Emperor drum hats on top and bottom, both at home and live. It's typically my sound, but if somebody for a recording prefers a different sound, then I will swap drum hats, no problem. Yeah, the Wincent story, that's a pretty nice one. We had a show in Switzerland and Z7 venue in Pratel. And the Paiste guys were there as well, Christian Wenzel and Rita Wild. And they gave me a heads up for Wincent drumsticks. So I reached out to them and I tried their products, and it was really cool, and it felt great. So I did some gigs with the Wincent drumsticks, and and I decided to work with them. So it's a big success. So thank you, Wincent, for having me. DELAIN had those lightning microphone stands, and Martijn had a cool keyboard stand with the light effects, but there was nothing in the drums. So I was like, I need to figure something out to also have light effects in the drums. So I made a small control system, the DMX system in a flight case. I made those light tubes with DELAIN already had in a microphone stands, also in my drum rack. It's controlled by DMX, so our light guy can make it blue, green, whatever. And we can sync it up with the rest of our light system. But the trigger was the disbalance on stage before I rejoined DELAIN in the light. So now it's in balance. The keyboard stand is lightened up, my drum kit is lightened up, the microphone stands. So now it's a total picture to me. Wembley 2014. That was my last tour when I was in DELAIN, my first period of time, let's say. And Wembley, we were supportful with Implantation, and we did all the Zenith Arena in Paris and all that kind of venues, let's say. And the Wembley was a dream come true, because I have some DVDs at home of famous concerts which were recorded there, and now I was there myself. So that was really cool. It's a great memory to have. For the future, we have huge plans with DELAIN for the upcoming album cyclus, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I will take full advantage of my home studio. Nice sessions are coming up, so both metal as pop rock kind of music, so really looking forward to them all. And and after that, well, I'm open for more live shows with the Pink Floyd project. That's also in the planning, and for the rest, what fits in between, I will go for it. Yeah, thanks for having me here. As I said in the beginning, for this beautiful location here and this nice interview. And I hope to see you all again very soon.
Yeah, bye-bye.